7:30 in India. We will begin now with Sahana Bhavatu. Jai Gurudev. I see Pandit Mukesh ji and Manish and Ghanshyam ji are also here. Mukesh?
हाँ मैम जी मैम जय गुरुदेव
जय गुरुदेव कृपया सहना भवतु से आरंभ करना
ऐड कर दूं मैम
unmute please मुकेश जी कृपया अनम्यूट करना
जय गुरुदेव
कृपया आरंभ जय
गुरुदेव
सहना भवतु
सहना भवतु हाँ
ओम सहनो भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनामस्तु महाविद्विषामहे ओम शांति शांति जय गुरुदेव
जय गुरुदेव Now we will do 10 minutes group meditation. All those who learn transcendental meditation will do transcendental meditation. Others who did not learn yet, sit with your eyes closed and go inward. मन को अंतर्मुख करना अभी आरंभ करेंगे जय गुरुदेव Jai Gurudev. Let's take a minute and slowly open the eyes. Jai Gurudev. Now, I would like to request Manish ji and Ghanshyam ji to please recite Bhagavad Gita first chapter. Unmute, please.
प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेनाग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीं मां त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद् गीते भगवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुता स्तुन्वन्ति देव्यस्तवैर्वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुषुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भगवत गीता अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः। धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्र कुरुक्षेत्र समवेतायुयोत्सवः मामकः पाण्डवाश्चैव किं कुर्वत सञ्जय। संजय उवाच दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानीकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसंगम्य राजा वचनमब्रवीत् पश्येतां पाण्डुपुत्राणाम् आचार्य महतीं च मूम् व्यूढां द्रुपदपुत्रेण तव शिष्येण धीमता अत्र शूरामहेश्वासा भीमार्जुन समायुधि युयुधानो विराटश्च द्रुपदश्च महारथः दृष्टकेतुश्चेकितानः काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुरोजित् कुन्तिभोजश्च शैब्यश्च नरपुङ्गवः युधामन्युश्च क्रांत उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान् सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथाः अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान्निबोध द्विजोत्तमा नायका मम सैन्यस्य संज्ञार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च सौमदत्तस्तथैव च अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितम् पर्याप्तं त्विदमेतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम् अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथाभागमवस्थिताः भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तो भवन्तः सर्व एव हि तस्य संजनयन् हर्षं कुरु वृद्धः पितामहः सिंहनादं विना चोक्षे शङ्खं दधमौ प्रतापवान् ततः शङ्खाश्च भैर्यश्च प्रणवान् खगोमुखाः सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्ता सशब्दस्तुमलोऽभवत् ततः श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति शन्दने स्थितो माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खो प्रदत्मतुः पाञ्चजन्यं हृषीकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रं दधमौ महाशङ्खं भीमकर्मा वृकोदरः अनन्तविजयं राजा कुन्तीपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुलः सहदेवश्च सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः दष्टजुम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिश्च पराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहो शङ्खान् दधमो पृथक् पृथक् सघोषो धार्तराष्ट्राणां हृदयानि व्यदारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमलो व्यनुनादयन् अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पादे धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यमिदमाह महीपते अर्जुन उवाच सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये रथं स्थापयमेच्युत यावदेतान् निरीक्षेऽहं योद्धुकामानवस्थितान् कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यामस्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे योत्स्यमानान् वेक्षेऽहं य तत्र समागताः धार्तराष्ट्रश्च दुर्बुद्धिर्युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः संजय उवाच एवमुक्तो हृषीकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम् भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् पुरोनितैः भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् पुरोनिति तत्रापश्य स्थितान् पार्थः पितॄन् पितामहान् आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखीस्तथा स्वसुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि तान् समीक्ष्य स कौन्तेय सर्वान् बन्धून्नवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टो विषेदन्नदमब्रवीत् अर्जुनोवाच दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्णं युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितं सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति वेपथुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते गाण्डीवं स्रंसते हत्वा त्वक्चैव परिदह्यते न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि अपश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे नाकाङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्णं न च राज्यं सुखानि च किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगः सुखानि च त इमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणास्त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्यः पितरः पुत्रास्तथैव च पितामहाः मातुलः श्वशुरः पौत्रः श्यालः सम्भस्तिनस्तथा एतान्न हन्तुमिच्छामि घ्नतोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतोः किं नु मही कृते निहत्य राष्ट्राणां का प्रीतिः स्यात् जनार्दन पापमेवाश्रये दशमान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तो धार्तराष्ट्रान् स्वबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान् प्रवर्तितुम् कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन कुलक्षय प्रणश्यन्ते कुलधर्मः सनातनः धर्मेणश्च कुलं कृष्णं अधर्मोऽभिभवच्युत अधर्माभिभवात् कृष्णा प्रदुष्यन्ति कुलस्त्रियः स्त्रीषु दुष्टासु वार्ष्णेया जायते वर्णसङ्करः संकरो नरकायैव कुलघ्नानां कुलस्य च पतन्ति पितरो येषां लुप्तपिण्डोदकक्रियाः दोषैरेतैः कुलघ्नानां वर्णसङ्करकारकैः उत्साद्यन्ते जातिधर्मा कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वताः उत्सन्न कुलधर्माणां मनुष्याणां जनार्दन नरके नियते वासो भवतीत्यनुशुश्रमा अहो बत महत् पापं कर्तुं व्यवसिता वयं यद्राज्यसुखलोभेन हन्तुं स्वजनमुद्यताः यदि माम प्रतीकारमशस्त्रं शस्त्रपाणयः धार्तराष्ट्रारणे हन्युस्तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत् संजय उवाच एवमुक्त्वार्जुनः सङ्ख्ये रथोपस्थ उपाविशत विसृज्य ससरं चापं शोकसंविघ्नमानसः ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे अर्जुन विषादनयोगे नाम प्रथमोऽध्यायः ॐ
Jai Gurudev. Rajan, unmute, please. Rajan, unmute, please. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, Rajan will do mala of the last 2 verses that we have studied. Go ahead, Rajan.
presentation is there now?
Sorry, 14 and 15.
Okay, now. ततः श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति स्यन्दने स्थितौ माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खौ प्रदध्मतुः ततः श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति स्यन्दने स्थितौ माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खौ प्रदध्मतुः पाञ्चजन्यं हृषीकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खं भीमकर्मावृकोदरः पाञ्चजन्यं हृषीकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खं भीमकर्मावृकोदरः
In the last 2 verses, Sri Krishna Bhagavan's chariot and the conch were described. We have seen that chariot is compared to the body. Our body, this body stands in the battlefield of life, and senses are horses. This point had been dealt with in Kathopanishad also, where it says, Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi Shariram Rathamevatu Buddhim tu Sarathim Vidhi Manah Pragrahamevacha. It means, know the self as the master of chariot, body as the chariot, intellect as the charioteer, one who drives the chariot, and mind are the reins. And the other point that was made in this verse was about the white horses that were yoked to Sri Krishna Bhagavan's or Arjuna's chariot. White symbolizes sattva, and sattva means purity. And this means that the chariot is driven under the influence of purity. When self guides, the body moves under the influence of sattva. Sri Krishna Bhagavan symbolizes self with capital S, and his chariot has white horses. And moving on to the next shloka, we didn't have much time to have a discussion on this shloka. So I will just make a few main points, and then if there are any questions, then we can have discussion a little bit. And in the 15th verse, Sri Krishna Bhagavan's conch was described. It says he blew Panchajanya. And Panchajanya was created from the bones of a demon, and the significance is described here. This has 2 points. When Sri Krishna Bhagavan blew Panchajanya, his breath was absorbed in the demon element in the conch, which produced the sound. And by doing that, Sri Krishna Bhagavan created a powerful demonic force against the devilish Kauravas. The reason is that force of righteousness is always positive and cannot destroy. Destruction can be brought about only by negative forces. So Sri Krishna Bhagavan, through the sound of Panchajanya, excited the negative powers in both armies. This gave Pandavas more power to destroy evil because of the support from the great power of righteousness, whereas it hastened destruction of Kauravas because of their negativity. And the other point is that when Sri Krishna Bhagavan blew Panchajanya, it was to declare that Pandavas' response to the war was only the resonance of the devilish uproar of the Kauravas echoing from Panchajanya. It was a devil echoing the voice of a devil, because we remember from our past discussion that it was the Kaurava side which blew their conch first. So they challenged, negativity challenged positivity, which is represented by Pandavas. So this is about the last 2 shlokas that we discussed. If there are any questions regarding this, please go ahead. Or if anybody else wants to add any other points also, you may do so. Sharmaji, would you like to add any more points to this one? Unmute, please, Sharmaji.
नहीं नहीं, ये गिरीश जी ने वो एक सही अमेरिका का वो है सत्संग, वो है गीता का। नहीं नहीं, हाँ 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 हाँ।
Looks like Sharmaji is tied up a little bit. So if there are any questions from the audience, please go ahead. Otherwise, we will move on to the next shloka. Shloka 16. Is that you, Rajan, again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthirah Nakulah Sahadevascha Sughoshamani Pushpakau. Ananta Vijayam Raja. Kunti Putro Yudhishthirah Nakulah Sahadevascha Sughoshamani Pushpakau. Prince Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch Ananta Vijaya. Nakula and Sahadeva blew Sughosha and Manipushpaka.
Jai Gurudev. Kunti is the mother of the 5 Pandavas, the sons of Pandu. Yudhishthira is the eldest of the 5 Pandavas. Nakula is the 4th, skilled in the art of training horses. Sahadeva is the 5th and youngest, skilled in the management of cattle. Ananta Vijaya means eternal victory. Sughosha means sweet toned. Manipushpaka means gem flowered. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, the scientific research goes, this verse 16 blew his conch. This is verified by the scientific research through Maharishi Transcendental Meditation, which shows and relates to greater ability to bring the inner self to healthy expression, greater inner locus of control, less sensitivity to criticism, less tendency to worry about other people's opinion, less need to belong and be accepted, greater orientation towards positive values. A line about scientific research, Hemaji, if I could say, it means that through Maharishi's transcendental meditation, such great attributes are added to yourself. Hence, the reading and listening of Bhagavad Gita is so imperative in our life. Jai Gurudev.
This verse and the next 2 verses are very simple. The names of the warriors are mentioned, so there is not much to comment on these. Therefore, we will move on to the next shloka and then the next one. So now we will move on to the verse number 17. Go ahead, please.
Jai Gurudev. Kasyascha parameshwasah sikhandi cha maharatah drishtadyumno viratascha satyakischa parajitah. Kasyascha parameshwasah Sikhandi cha maharatah Drishtadyumno viratascha Satyakischa parajitah. The king of Kashi, the great archer, and Shikhandi, the Maharathi, Drishtadyumna and Virata and Satyaki, the unsubdued. Jai Gurudev. Can I go ahead with the next one too, Hemaji?
No, Anitaji will do scientific research and then we go on.
Jai Gurudev.
And even this verse is scientifically verified through Maharishi Transcendental Meditation, greater physiological stability. When we mention about the great archers, which shows that through Maharishi Transcendental Meditation, improved athletic performance and mind and body coordination. There are faster reactions and superior perceptual motor performance, increased energy and enthusiasm. Jai Gurudev.
Okay, now we move on to the next shloka.
Jai Gurudev. Drupado Draupedeyascha Sarvasah Prithivipate Saubhadrascha Mahabahuः Sankhan Dadmuh Prithak Prithak. Drupado Draupedeyascha Sarvasah Prithivipate Saubhadrascha Mahabahuः Sankhan Dadmuh Prithak Prithak. Drupada, as well as the sons of Draupadi and the mighty armed son of Subhadra, O Lord of Earth, all blew their different conches. Jai Gurudev.
The scientific research verified in this verses all blew their different conches, which relates to increased readiness for activity, increased alertness, increased energy and enthusiasm, and increased liveliness. Jai Gurudev.
Next shloka.
सघोषोद्धार्तराष्ट्राणाम् हृदयानि व्यदारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमुलोऽभ्यनुनादयन् सघोषोद्धार्तराष्ट्राणाम् हृदयानि व्यदारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमुलोऽभ्यनुनादयन्. That tumultuous uproar reverberating through earth and sky rent the hearts of Dhritarashtra's men.
Jai Gurudev. The Pandavas announced their readiness for war by the blowing of the conches, which thrilled the air and vibrated through everything in earth and sky. A stir was created in the universe. A cosmic process is revealed here. The evil doings of the Kauravas had saturated the atmosphere and had, as it were, pervaded everything within an evil influence. This evil influence was shaken when righteousness, having gained strength, rose to accept its challenge. The force of destruction in the world was to be destroyed by the rising wave of life. Jai Gurudev.
The scientific research of this verse goes, the tumulus uproar rent the hearts of Dhritarashtra's men relates to more effective interaction with the environment, improved resistance to stress, increased autonomic stability, greater physiological calmness during the task performance, faster recovery from exertion, and improved temperature homeostasis. Chikudev.
Next one now.
Sharma ji?
Yes, Jai Gurudev. Actually, in this shloka, the main message is that when the conches were blown, and especially by Bhagwan Shri Krishna and Arjun, the sound was, we can say, so powerful because it was more near the sattva. Actually, it says, Kriya Siddhi Sattve Bhavati Mehtam Nop Karne. The action is becomes successful because of the sattva, not because of the armors which we have. So sattva was with the Pandavas because Lord Bhagwan Krishna was supporting Pandavas. And it also says that the sound was reverberating in the earth and sky. So because the basis of everything is Akasha, and Akasha is the basis of the self. So they were more closer to the sattva. We can say in the modern scientific technology, they were established more in the unified field. And because the blowing of the conches was more from the level of unified field, so it was pervading everywhere. Because the evil forces, they have more tamas. So they were, we can say, at more grosser level, and the basis of everything was shaken when the righteousness was, we can say, reverberating everything. So it is just this, the message was given. Jai Gurudev. I think some Pooja ji is asking some question, is raising hand, so maybe she can ask the
Pooja,
question.
go ahead. Unmute, please. Pooja, you're muted. Unmute and ask your question.
Ma'am, actually, my question is not there. I'm not a co-host, so I'm not able to share the screen.
We can't hear you, Pooja. You're muted again. So looks like Pooja is having some technical issues. Anybody else has any comment to make, or if you have any appealing point or any question, please go ahead. So looks like there are no comments, so we will move on to the next shloka, number 20. Please go ahead,
Yes,
Sanskrit recitation.
अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः Then, seeing the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn up in battle order as missiles were about to fly, the son of Pandu, Arjuna, whose banner bore the image of Hanuman, took up his bow.
Jai Gurudev. The sons of Dhritarashtra drawn up in the battle order represents evil prepared to annihilate righteousness. When Arjuna took up his bow, he expressed the readiness of righteousness to resist evil and restore harmony on earth. This is a cosmic process. Whenever evil arises and threatens to overtake life, nature moves to balance it. A wave of righteousness rises to neutralize the evil. Those who are the medium through which vice enters the world perish from the rise of such a wave, and those who have borne suffering under the influence of evil, becoming the instrument of righteousness, begin to enjoy. Banner bore the image of Hanuman. Hanuman symbolizes devotion and service to the Supreme Sri Krishna Bhagavan. Arjuna's life was dedicated to the divine cause. His skill and art of archery were useful for the cause of righteousness. Therefore, his chariot had a sign which bore the image of Hanuman. Jai Gurudev.
The scientific research of this verse goes: increase readiness for activity, decrease anxiety through Maharishi transcendental meditation. The banner bore the image of Hanuman, took up his bow. The studies have shown that the meta-analysis of 146 independent study results found out that the Transcendental Meditation program is significantly more effective in reducing trait anxiety than procedures of concentration, contemplation, or other technique. The verified scientific relates to increased readiness for activity, increased energy, increased alertness, increased energy and enthusiasm, decreased tension, and decreased nervousness. Jai Gurudev.
So there are two main points in this shloka. One is that dharma balances positive and negative forces. We studied about dharma in detail in the very first shloka of Bhagavad Gita. And this is a cosmic process. Whenever evil threatens to overtake life, nature moves to balance it. Righteousness rises to neutralize evil. So that's one point. The other point that is brought out in this shloka is why Arjuna's flag has image of Hanuman. Hanuman symbolizes devotion and service to Sri Rama. Arjuna's life was dedicated to the divine cause of protecting his citizens, and this devotion and service is represented in having a banner with image of Hanuman. Hanuman is a favorite deity for many people. So I'm going to ask a question. It's a quiz. And I'll put it in the chat box also. there is a Panchamukha Anjaneya, which is mentioned in Sundarakanda of Ramayana. And in Panchamukha, Anjaneya shows 5 devatas in 5 faces. So the quiz is, what are they and what do they signify? So you can put your answers in the chat box, or at the before we end the session, I will talk about this again. So any questions or comments on this? Or Sharmaji, do you want to add something?
I think actually there is a lot to be told about Bhagwan Shri Hanuman. So, and everyone knows about it, but it is always good to discuss about the qualities of Hanuman and how actually in the war with Ram and Ravan also Hanumanji played a big role, and in this Mahabharata also, because Hanumanji is immortal. Once Maharishi was mentioning how one can become immortal. So Hanumanji is immortal, and like in the name, in the form also, that quality is maintained. So the form of Hanuman on the flag is showing that the strength, and we can say the sattva, is always with the Arjun. It just represents that power with him, because being immortal, he is there. Being Pavan Putra, no? So because he can be at that certain level, his presence is there. There may be many things, but basically it depends that if in case some question comes, then we can discuss this.
Yes, Jagurudev Rishi. Do we also add that the image of Hanuman gives us that feeling, that energy, that activity, that alertness? Because if he is the personification for all the qualities, so there is one very important scientific research on that, that every work that has been done, that has to be done with greater enthusiasm and energy. So when any work that we take, like Hanumanji took any work for himself, it is always was with great enthusiasm and devotion. So what I feel, even the flag of Hanuman itself personifies so many great qualities, and that itself helps us to decrease tension and nervousness and gives us that enthusiasm and spirit of energy and activity and readiness to do anything.
Yes, why not? When Hanuman is there, then all the qualities are there as well, and basically it strengthens the whole army of righteousness. Yes.
And Maharishi, transcendental meditation is what we are basically stressing on, that will imbibe these qualities in us.
Good.
Any other comments? I'm wondering if I should talk about the Panchamukha Anjaneya now or at the end of the session. So maybe I'll go ahead and do it now. Panchamukha Anjaneya. So these 5 faces of Hanuma are representing 5 devatas. And by the way, devata means tattva, not just form. So 5 devatas, the 5 tattvas of 5 devatas are represented in each of the 5 faces of Anjaneya. First face is that of a Vanara, monkey, and this is the face he got by birth. The second face shows Narasimha, and this is one of the 9 Dashavataras, not 9, 10 Dashavataras, Narasimha Avatara. And the tattva of Narasimha is shown in killing the Rakshasas, Daityas, when he went to Sri Lanka. And the third face is represented by Garutmanta. Garutmanta is a vehicle for Sri Vishnu, and it shows Vainateya Tattva. Vainateya is another name for Garutmanta, and this is shown in two things. One is speed. He moves very fast. He flies very fast, and also the other quality attributed to Garutmanta is he removes poison. And that is shown in Devasura Sangram. When Amrit comes, he carries Amrit with him. And so that way, with Amrit, the poison is removed. These two qualities are shown in the third phase of Hanuman. One, Hanuman also moves very fast like Garutmanta. And the second quality of removing poison and bringing Amrita is when Anjaneya goes to Himalayas to bring Sanjeevani herb to protect Sri Lakshmana. Because of the poison, Rama and Lakshmana, they faint. Not Rama, Lakshmana, he faints. And so the Amrit that was brought by Hanuman from Himalayas, that relieves him from poison, and he is rejuvenated. So that is the third phase. The fourth phase shows Hayagriva Mukha. Hanuman is a very learned man, learned Devata, and he is also embodiment of all Vedas, and that is represented by Hayagriva face. And the fifth face is Varaha Mukha. Varaha is boar, the one of the incarnations of Vishnu Bhagavan in Dashavataras also. He is uplifting. In Telugu we say Uddharinsadam, bringing somebody up. Like in his Varaha Avatara, he saved earth from waters when Hiranyaksha drowned her. And Hanuman relieves Sitaji from Shoka Sagara, from misery of separation from Sri Rama. So these are the five faces represented by Panchamukha Anjaneya. Any comments or questions on this? Otherwise, we will move on to the next shloka. Yeah, yes.
Hema, I'm just wondering, as a Westerner, just a very simple question. What is the value of actually seeing pictures of these devata? Is there a value in that? Or is it just as important just to know that we embody those qualities? Thank you.
I think there is definitely good effect of that. Sharmaji, would you like to comment, please?
Actually, what happens is that there is a form attached with the name. When we have a vibration, it has a form. And Vedic technology is so perfect that we can say it is perfect at the level of sound. It is also perfect at the level of manifestation. So when the sound is manifesting, when we are taking any name, it has that form. And that form is depicted like a picture on the, and there is a principle, Maharishi's principle, what you see, you become. When we see a Devata, all those qualities in the picture, they are, we can say, enhancing the qualities of that Devata within our own physiology. So it is always good to see the picture of the Devata when we are reciting the shloka connected to any Devata. If the picture is there, then we have the senses of the eye. They also interact with the picture and they strengthens that quality of Devata within ourselves. So inner Devata is strengthened by seeing the outer picture. and those are, we can say, different specific vibrations. Like there are 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, so thousands name forms also of Vishnu also can be seen. So really, with every name, the form is associated, and that can be depicted on the like a picture, and it can also have the, we can say, the whole personality. So it has a big, great significance. And Maharishi already has explained, what you see, you become. So when we see fullness, the fullness develops within ourselves as well. So it is a very good question, actually, and that is why we have all these statues in the temples, because that is the value. When we go there in the temple and we recite that shloka and we see in front of us the deity, then all those good qualities, they emerge within ourselves.
Thank you. That's a beautiful. I was just wondering also, thank you so much for this. I was wondering about the statues, because sometimes we had heard from Maharishi about treating the statues in a most appropriate manner. And you're saying about the statues being in the temple, but in India, you have these statues in the home where everyone presumably...
Yes, actually, what happens is when we perform some puja, we invocate, like we are like holy tradition, we are invocating. So we are invocating that devta. So that devta is there in the in that statue or in that picture. Devta is there, and when we are offering, he is receiving and he is giving. So that the whole process of yajna is taking place when we are performing puja. It is called prana pratishtha, means the breath of devta is there, the life of devta is there.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Another point, Maria, is that with all five senses, whatever we see, we hear, we eat, we touch, and we smell, with all these senses, we metabolize whatever we receive from these senses. So that's why we advise children not to see violence on TV, because they see that violence and they metabolize it. It goes into their system, into their physiology. So similarly, what we see and touch and hear. So the value of this visual objects and how we metabolize them has great effect upon our physiology also.
Thank you, Hema. I see you're an example of that, because I see all the beautiful pictures on your wall behind you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. People, when they come to my house, they say your house is like a temple, because whichever direction they see, whatever room they go, we see pictures of Gurudev, Maharishi, and Mahalakshmi, Mahadurga, Mahasaraswati, and Vishnu Bhagavan, and Ganesha, and everybody is there. It just gives joy, it gives such a beautiful feeling. And sometimes it is instantaneous, you see and you close eyes and you're internalizing that you had seen. And it comes more and more as you grow in consciousness. It happens more and more quickly. The effect is coming very quickly. And they also say that as you're growing in consciousness and as you're approaching the goal, the closer you are to the goal, the faster you move in evolution. Okay. That's a nice discussion we had. Anybody else wants to add something? Pooja is unable to display because somehow she lost the opportunity to be the co-host. Now I'm trying to reach Sachin and I cannot reach him. Sachin, can you please make Pooja co-host again, please? Because
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because she is not co-host now, so she's not able to share. So now we move on to the next shloka. Go ahead, please. Sanskrit recitation.
Jai Gurudev. Hrishikesam tada vakyam idamahamahipate Arjuna uvacha Senayorubhayormadhye Ratham Sthapayamechyuta Hrishikesam Tada Vakyam Idamahamahipate Arjuna Uvacha Senayorubhayormadhye Ratham Sthapayamechyuta. Then, O Lord of Earth, he spoke these words to Hrishikesha, Sri Krishna Bhagavan. Draw up my chariot between the two armies, O Achyuta. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Lord of Earth. Through this expression, Sanjaya draws Dhritarashtra's attention to the fact that he had the influence to intervene and stop the two armies from involving themselves in destruction. Already in verse 18, Sanjaya has addressed Dhritarashtra as Lord of Earth. The repeated expression indicates that he wants to make Dhritarashtra see the seriousness of the situation. Both the armies have declared their readiness to fight, and now Arjuna is moving to the forefront. Every moment is vital and significant. The destruction seems inevitable. Achyuta means immovable. Arjuna calls Lord Krishna Achyuta. He wants the immovable to start moving for him. Achyuta also means one who has never fallen. Thereby, Arjuna wants to suggest to Krishna Bhagavan that he will never fail him. Arjuna asks for the chariot to be placed between the two armies so that both himself and Bhagavan Sri Krishna shall be there. By placing Bhagavan Sri Krishna midway, Arjuna desires to present a picture on the screen of time, absolute being present between the opposing forces, a picture expressing the inner mechanics of nature, which will explain the fundamentals of life and clarify the basic principles of war and peace for the generations to come. Bhagavan Sri Krishna symbolizes the absolute being, which is the field of dharma, and which, by remaining between the negative and positive powers in nature, balances them. Although remaining neutral, it always supports righteousness. Although Bhagavan Sri Krishna is neutral, he is with Arjuna, who enjoys his support. In the following verse, Arjuna explains why he himself wishes to be placed between the two armies. Jai Gurudev.
The scientific research of verse 21 goes, a stabilized restful alertness during TM Siddhi yogic flying. Achyuta means immovable. During the TM Siddhi yogic flying technique, EEG alpha power was significantly higher than during control conditions in which the same individual imitated the movement of yogic flying. Higher EEG relative alpha power was measured in all brain areas during the TM Siddhi yogic flying technique. Stabilized restful alertness, even during activity of mind and body, is a characteristic of the development of consciousness through Maharishi Transcendental Meditation and TM Siddhi program, which relates to increased brain wave coherence. Jai Gurudev.
Sharmaji.
Yes, in this also again the emphasis is on names like the Lord of the Earth. Every time Sanjay is mentioning to Dhritarashtra, and similarly the name of the Achyuta, the name of Bhagwan Krishna. So the name has very much emphasis, and then we can say the quality of the name is in the individual, because Dhritarashtra can take any action, and so he can stop the war, and that is why Sanjay is addressing him by this name. When Arjun is addressing Lord Krishna, he is saying Achyut, as already explained, and it was very good to connect also with the research that actually transcendental consciousness or samadhi we say as if a stable state. So the immovable can also move. So even though the Bhagwan Krishna is symbolizing the incarnation of the absolute, the immovable, but then he can also move because of the devotion of Arjun towards him. And then as far as the condition, putting the chariot in between, it symbolizes that once actually Maharishi was explaining that it is just like a pendulum. If we take the pendulum of one side, we can say the side of righteousness. Then we also, the pendulum goes to the other side, the side of the tamas. So there are like as if two opposite sides, and the being is in between, because being brings the balances. So from the middle position, both aspects can be covered. And obviously, as we know, there are many stories. Every time there was a war between Devatas and the Daityas, Lord Vishnu came to the rescue of Devatas. So always, because righteousness has to be established. So that is why Bhagwan Krishna is with Arjun, even though he is with Arjun, but he wants to be in between both the forces. So, but basically we will see in case some question comes, because rest everything no one can explain better than what Maharishi has already commented. Good.
That's true.
Okay, good.
So also here, the name is mentioned Achyuta, that is immovable. But in the next paragraph or sentence, Maharishi says that moves. So wholeness on the move. So even though it is wholeness, it is established firmly, but still it moves. So there are both qualities are present in there. And Maharishi talked a lot about wholeness on the move. When we get to that subject, we will talk more.
Yes, because basically the name Achyut means that which is immovable. But even the immovable can move because of the, we can say, the bhakti. The devotion of Lord the devotion of Arjun was so much that is why we are connecting it with the siddhis. That in the siddhi, when we are taking the sutra, it is helping even to move the immovable. This is the mind and body coordination comes up. So we can move the mountains like that.
Bhuvnesh ji, do we understand that the siddhis help us to transcend better?
It is both ways. Not only it helps to transcend better, but it also brings that into action. It is in, and we can say it is a strengthening our senses, the mind and body coordination, so that whatever the mind says, all the senses and the body also reacts to that level.
Reacts.
Okay. Yes, Anita ji, your question. We do transcend better, yes, because with Siddhi program, you are moving faster in evolution. You are growing in higher states of consciousness more quickly than before you started the Siddhi. So the progress is more rapid. So you are moving faster and you transcend more, and you have, much deeper silence. So all these benefits of Siddhi program are there. So I always encourage meditators, to go for Siddhi program, because it's a very beautiful experience with Siddhis.
Thank you, Himaji.
Mhm. So now we'll move on to the next shloka. That will be the last shloka of discussion for today. Go ahead, please.
Jai Gurudev. यावदेतान्निरीक्षेऽहम् योद्धुकामानवस्थितान् कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यम् अस्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे यावदेतान्निरीक्षेऽहम् योद्धुकामानवस्थितान् कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यम् अस्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे. So that I may observe those who stand here eager for battle and know with whom I should fight in this toil of war. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. The skill of battle lies first in locating the strategic points of the enemy line. Arjuna's power of concentration was so great that if he correctly located the positions of the enemy leaders, his arrows would fly straight at them. Eager for battle shows that Arjuna wanted carefully to pick off only those who were eager for battle. He would not concern himself with those who were not eager to fight. This illustrates Arjuna's bravery and self-confidence. It also expresses his readiness for battle. Jai Gurudev.
The scientific research of this verse shows improved visual perception through transcendental meditation. Individual instructed in Maharishi Transcendental Meditation Program shows significant improvements in clarity of visual perception after 2 weeks, in contrast to controls randomly assigned to the daily periods of a controlled treatment or to controls given no treatment. So that I may observe this verse, this line in the verse relates to improve efficiency of visual perception, great perceptual flexibility, improved auditory thresholds, improved auditory discrimination, and increased perceptual speed. Jai Gurudev.
So this shloka shows bravery and confidence of the great warrior Arjuna. Because skill in battle lies in knowing the enemy's strategy. You want to know where they are, who you are going to fight with, where they're situated, etc. And this also shows readiness of Arjuna to fight. This becomes a significant point because later on we will see how he says he doesn't want to fight, but as of now he is ready to fight. So this is a short commentary. Any other points or questions? Please go ahead. So this is quite a simple one. So we will close now. Rajan, Mala of the next 2 shlokas, please, 23 and 24.
Sure. योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहम् य एतेऽत्र समागताः धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेः युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहम् य एतेऽत्र समागताः धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेः युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः संजय उवाच एवमुक्तो हृषीकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम् संजय उवाच एवमुक्तो हृषीकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम् जय गुरुदेव.
Jai Gurudev. So before we close, we would like to sing happy birthday song in Sanskrita. If there is anybody's birthday, please raise your hand and identify yourself. Ramraj TV viewers can also put it in the chat box. Let us know if anybody is having a birthday. It looks like no birthdays. Mukesh ji, can you please do the Shanti part? Unmute, please.
जी मैम.
हाँ.
हरे ओम माध्यो शांतिरंतरिक्षगम शांतेः पृथ्वी शांतिरापः शांतिरोषधयः शांतिः वानस्पतयः शांतिर्वृषभे देवाः शांति ब्रह्मा शांतिः सर्वगं शांतिः शांतिरेव शांतिः सामा शांतिरेधि जतो यातः समीहसि ततो नो अभयं कुरु सन्नः कुरपराजाभ्यो भयन्नः पाशवयाः ओम शांति शांति शांति. जय गुरुदेव.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you all for joining. We'll meet again next Sunday, same time. All of you can come on cameras now and say Jai Gurudev to Maharishi ji for giving us this beautiful knowledge.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, ma'am.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, Shri
Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, madam.
जय गुरुदेव.
जय गुरुदेव मैडम.
Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev.
जय
Jai Gurudev. So, I see two daughters, our youngest Gita study participants. Devi Tiwari ji is Pandit from Suriname, and you can see his three children. They are learning Gita, and the youngest one is still very young, but the two older daughters, they learned Gita, and I heard their Gita recitation. It's beautiful. Tiwari ji, we appreciate you teaching them Gita, even though you are in a foreign country, Suriname, away from our culture and, our country. Thank you for joining and bringing your beautiful daughters to this satsang. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Keep learning nicely. Okay. Okay.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Sachin, you may end the meeting now.